Hello and welcome to our channel Crafting with Lisa Horton. Today I'm going to talk you through using watercolour palettes and particularly the Watercolor Euphoria paints from myself, Lisa Horton. So really it's going to be starting from basics. I will confess I am no expert at this, but I have been playing quite regularly with my palettes. I'm thoroughly enjoying working with them, and I just want to share a few hints and tips and a little bit of advice about how to use your palettes, what papers to use, etc. Any questions you can post in the links below, comments below, and also there will be links to some further videos that I'm going to do with palettes too, because I'd like to show you how to use them with your embossing folders as well, because I think you'll find that is a really easy way of learning how to use your palettes. Now I'm going to start with a couple of things here. Firstly, my watercolor books. So they are available on my website. They are also available at Create and Craft, and we do them in two sizes. This is the A5 and this is my landscape one. We also do the A4 version, again in landscape, because I just find it a lot easier. For some reason I find it a lot easier to work in landscape. Now it doesn't really matter, you can turn your book this way and you can have it like that so it flips over at the top, or you can turn it this way so it flips open sideways. When you get yours home, you will see you've got 25 really thick pages here, and these are 270 GSM and they are hot press, so you're going to find they're a super smooth, super lovely quality paper or card to use. Now what you can do is you can work in your book, or you can tear these out and you can work on your mat. You can emboss these and then work on your folders. So they've got a lot of ways of being used. So please remember, if you're buying a book, don't think you have to use the book all the time. You can take your pages out as well. So that's the first thing I would certainly recommend. I'll pop that just to one side for a moment and we'll come back to that in a minute. Now these are your Watercolor Euphoria paints. Mine aren't in their box, as I have taken the box away and disposed of because I don't keep putting them back in there. I use them all the time now, so they sit in my bedroom because I do quite a lot of crafting. I sit up in bed, put the TV on, and I have my water brush and my paints and my little book, and I just practice. Sometimes I've got YouTube videos on the TV, but sometimes I'm just playing with colour really to see what I can do. So let's open our palette and have a look at what we're going to get inside the box. Let's turn it around this way because I had it around the wrong way. Mine are very well loved, and you will see this when we open them. And this is a good sign. It's a good sign. It shows that I like my watercolours. So you'll see here splodges of paint everywhere. Now these are obviously my go-to colours, as you can obviously tell, because you know, most of you, what my favourite palette is. There should be a blue in there somewhere, but you know, I was colouring poppies, so we didn't have the blue this time. And then we open again this side, and you can see here we've got our paints. Now you also get your water brush. It's a medium water brush, so you get a medium tip on your brush. Okay, let me bring that up for you. Bring that over here. So you get your medium tip, you give it a squeeze and the water will come out. So one thing to remember with a watercolour brush, instead of turning it the way you think you turn it to undo it, you turn it the opposite way. So you turn it as if you're doing it up to undo it. I do not know why water brushes are like this. I don't know if it's something to do with maybe water coming out. I don't know, but that's the way they work. You turn it the opposite way to what you would normally do for undoing something and doing something up. So you get your watercolor brush, pop that to one side. Now you also get, actually let's take the lid off so I can show you. Going along here, you get your 18 regular coloured paints and you get your 6 pearl paints too. So we'll start from here. Mine's a little bit grubby, but there's my white, there's my yellow, my 2 skin tones, it's my ochre, my orange, my bright red, my cerise pink, my burgundy red, the purple, blue, and this is like a green lime. So it's a cross between a yellow and a green, but it is absolutely gorgeous. And then we've got our, I call it like our grass green or our meadow green, our olivey green, teal blue. We have our dark, it's like It's like a walnut brown. It's beautiful. Our grey and our black. And then we go along here with our pearl colours. Let's start this end, and we've got our blue, our olive green, our reddy pink colour, which is gorgeous colour, our bright gold, and our silver. And this one here is our chameleon gold. Now this is a little unsung hero here because it looks very pale, but when you mix it with these colours, it turns all of these regular colours into pearlized paint, so it looks stunning when you use it. Great for black card as well. So if you're doing your practicing on black card, definitely pick these up. And when the colour dries, that is when you see that mica metallic element coming out. So you also get your palette the other side as well, so you can choose how you use it. You could put your paints on here, you could put water in here if you want to, but I tend to use it, I like this side for some reason. It's just where I gravitate to, but that is exactly how I use mine. So that is the first part of your watercolour palettes. I'm going to pop this back inside like so, and I'm going to pop the palette to one side and tell you what else that you will need. So we'll leave that like that because that is going to give us enough room to work here, and you can still see the colours that I'll be picking up. So we also have our scrappy tissue. Mine's very well used, very well loved, and this is actually loo roll, to be fair. You can use kitchen roll, you can use a microfiber cloth, you can use whatever you like, but this for me is for taking off that excess water. And if you want to clean your brush as well, or get your brush to a fine point again. I also use a smaller brush too. This is a Royal Langaninickel brush, and it's a number 3. You do not need these. It's not essential by any stretch. My watercolour brush is perfect as a starting point, but we do have some brushes coming to market very soon. So if you bear with us, this video was done in October 2021. So if we think about November onwards, you should see a range of watercolour brushes coming as well. So just don't worry about buying anything extra at the moment. Just go with what you get in the kit, and we can talk about brushes as time goes on. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to bring in my book that I've already been working with, and I'm going to show you what I've been doing so far. So inside your book, well, inside my book, you're going to see some random shapes. You're going to see some things that I've been working on, some things I've been practicing with, and this is actually a really good idea. So what I'd like you to do when you get your books home and you get your palettes home is to make a little swatch of all your colours, and you can do that in the back of your book, or you can do that using my swatch book Stamp and Die. That's a really good way of laying out all your colours. You can name them if you want to. You can do what you want that makes it easy for you to remember what you are using. Okay, I tend to put my colours in here, and I'll show you how we do that very soon for the project that I'm using. So I'll take some water, mix it up, pop it in here, and it doesn't matter if it dries because we can reactivate that very easily. So that's where I start. Now here, this is what we're going to do, and this is why I've brought in the smaller brush, just to show you. So in one of the tutorials, what it suggested to me is you need to learn 2 things, and you need to learn to draw a C, and you need to learn to draw an S, and that is the basis of many things. Now again, I will reiterate, I am absolutely no expert in this, and this is a learning curve for me. And you can see here, this is not artist quality, this is practicing, and that's what I want you to do. This is where we can kind of all go on the journey together. If you haven't done it before, this is a really good place to start. So the first thing you need to do is learn to draw a C. So I'm just going to take you through what we did, and then towards the end of the video I would do a C and I would do an S, and I will show you how I've progressed, okay, because I'm really pleased with how I've been getting on with this. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your brush and you're going to draw a C, and then you're going to draw another C back to back, and then you colour in, and that becomes your leaf again here. So mine are a little bit pointed, it doesn't matter because you pop your brush down and then you draw your C, brush down, draw your C. Again here, smaller one. I've got no water on my brush because I don't want to wet this, and that's all I've done, the C's. So you start up and then you come down, You start up and you come down. And I've done that, you can see I've done a larger one here, larger one there, and I've done that all the way along. So here I've used the olive green, which is this one here. Here I've used, I call it the meadow green, which is that one. Here I've mixed those two together, and here I've used my lime green, or my green lime. I don't really know what to call it, but it's just lovely. I just love that colour. So it's got a yellowy tinge to that. So you can mix all these together if you want to. So what you need to do is practice your C's. Join your C's together. Practice your C. Join your C together. Practice your C. Do different shaped C's if you like. So you could do a curved C. You could do a long C. A long C. Do you see what I mean? So just keep playing with that. There are videos out there to teach you this far better than I can, but that really is the principle of creating a leaf, right? So the next thing it teaches you is to draw an S. Now, again, just very finely, draw an S, draw an S. So here I was light, heavy, light, light, heavy, light. So you can do that as much as you want to. And then you can see I was very rubbish here. So what you're meant to do is do your C. Sorry, that is not a C at all. You're meant to do your S. So you do your S. And then you're supposed to join from the top to the bottom, okay? S, and join top to bottom. Now, that's a bit rubbish. I wasn't very happy with that. So I practiced again. S, S, S. And then I joined it again all the way to the bottom. All the way to the bottom with a straight line. That one was a bit poor, but actually that's really cool. When you've got your nice stem going down, you'll see actually they look so much better than they do here once you put them onto something. So again here, plain S's, and that had more paint one side than the other, so it's going to give me a nice shadow without me doing anything. Again here, S, and then my line to join them up, S, the line to join them up. And you can see I'm getting a little bit more confident as time goes on, but that is really the principle of many things. So you've got your C's and your S's, and that is how I learned literally how to do the leaf style. Okay, now this is without putting anything in, this is without putting the veins in, but we'll get on to that as well. So I'm just literally going to go through everything I've done so you can practice and you can have a go and see where it gets you. I think you'll be quite surprised at how far you get, but you must make sure that you've got a dry card, so you don't put water down, you have a dry card, but you wet your brush and then you pop it into your paint and mix it in your palette. But we're going to do that because we're actually going to do some physical things soon, but this is all the background. So let's turn over. So here, let's ignore this page because that was me just playing. I didn't even know what I was doing there. That was just a bit of random me. And again, you can see I've done my C's. So it's fine, and then press down, lift up, fine, press down, lift up. And then you can see I've done it here, but I've not quite filled that in. And then this C, I've done a C, but I've almost done another C there to try and join it together. And this is where I found I was a little bit more confident. So lift up, press down, lift up, press down, lift up, and create my gorgeous leaves there. Here, and the next thing I learned, I'm going to actually put some water on because it will actually make my brush a little bit. Let's pull that down just a touch. Just a touch. Let's wipe it off with my piece of tissue. Let's bring my tissue in. I'm going to put my tissue just there for a second, just to sharpen my point of my paintbrush. So I did my C here, and then all you do is you grab a little bit more paint and you do almost like you're rubbing out. So you do squiggle, 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 squiggle. Then that side, squiggle, 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 squiggle. And it gives you almost like that ridged look. I'm not quite sure what leaf that is, but I quite liked it anyway. And then here, me playing on my own without any experience whatsoever, I kept my brush quite dry and I put a little tiny bit of paint on without too much water, and then I just drew in my little stems. But again, that's the very first leaf I've ever done with the veins in it. So Honestly, it is a case of practicing. And then here I got really brave, so I drew a line, and then I drew my C's. There you go, C's. You can turn your page when you do it, but I'm just showing you what I did. And then they actually become quite lovely. So all of those random looking C's from this first page here, which look quite odd here, when you put them onto your stems, don't look so odd now, do they? So here, like this one, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just did a wiggly line, pop the stem on, wiggly line, pop the stem on, and that is all I did. To start playing with what you've got. Give it a go. You know, it's a piece of card, you can't go wrong. So I'm going to turn this over and show you. So again, you can see I really am a novice at this, but I was practicing. So I got a paintbrush and I did a curve. That's all I did, like a wavy line. And then I practiced those C's. So here I used grey, I used the grey paint, and I actually used the silver and the olive green of the metallics. So I did my C, filled it in, and then I did that wiggly squiggle, 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 all the way around. And then I did another leaf and another leaf, and I kind of attached them to the stem. Not perfect by any stretch, is it? Absolutely not. But it just shows you what you can do just with a little practice. And then again, I took the grey paint with very little water on my brush and drew those in using the very finest edge of my paintbrush. And again, this one, I did the same. It wasn't quite as successful because my wiggly bits weren't particularly wiggly. My colours here were a bit mushy and they didn't work too well. But again, for composition, I was just trying to see how to do my leaves, and it seemed to work quite well. But again, that's going to take a huge amount of practice, but it was the first time doing it. So I'm not going to beat myself up. I'm going to say, do you know what? I never thought I could even do that at one point, but look now, I'm getting somewhere at last. So that's that. Then I'm going to show you something else which I was really pleased with. It's not perfect, but I am pleased with it. Now look at this. This again is C's. That's all we've used in here. We've used C's. So what I did is I took some pink paint and I drew my C, filled it in. I took my pink paint, drew another C, filled it in, all the way round, turn my page all the way round, until I got all the way back to the beginning. And then I popped some water in the middle, just plain water in the middle, and I dabbed on some yellow paint and let the paint spread out. Once I'd done that, I thought, you know what, I'm going to try a different colour. So I did the same here. Once that had dried, I went in with a little bit of dark paint. I don't think you're supposed to do it because you end up with these kind of watery marks, but I was quite happy. And then I went and did some leaves. And then I drew some circles, just round circles. And then I did a little bit of extra colour. And then I drew my waves. And then I drew my C's again. Pop the line down. C's. And it's all I did. So I sat in the garden one day doing that in the summer. So although it is nowhere near perfect by any stretch, it's quite naive and quite almost like childlike, I'm really pleased that I gave it a go because it just shows what I can do. So I've turned this over and we're going to look at one or two other things, and then we're going to get into some little bit of practicing to show you what we can do. Now, two other things you can do. You can take your watercolour and you can, let me bring that down, you can put plenty of water on your brush, grab some paint, mix it up in here so it's very, very fluid and very, very wet, if you like, and then you can flick. And I did this with the metallics. I don't know if you'll pick it up on white, but that's what we did there. So it's going to give you this cool background, so you can then you can cut that out and use that on one of your cards if you want to. And here, this is my very first attempt. This is very naive and very not particularly good, so I just wanted to show you where I'm starting so you can see what you can get to and what you can learn. This is me trying to do wet on wet. this poppy looks quite deformed. I'm not really quite sure what I did there. But all we did with these is, which is what we're going to do in about 3 or 4 minutes, we take water onto our brush and we put water down and we fill the whole area in with plain water, and then we pick up our colour and we dab it in the middle, and then it will wick and it will spread and it will fill out into all the space where the water is. Okay, once you've done that, you can then go in with a black dot in the middle, and again you can see how it's wicking out, and that's how you can create some of your flowers and your simple poppies. Here I drew a C, and then I filled it in, fill it all in with water, and then I added the colour, which is what we're going to do in a minute. As I said, there we go. That one, as I say, I'm not really quite sure what happened there, but it was a practice, and you know, it's okay. I wouldn't put it on my wall, but it's a start. And then here I've done the same. It all wicked out, and then here all I did, I had a play. I did a semicircle, just filled it in, and then put the colour on, and it kind of makes it look like a wilting poppy or a poppy bud. And then I just took a paintbrush and I drew a very fine line all the way down and did my C's. C, C, again C, 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 all the way down with these, and then that's the result you get. And you can see where the paint bleeds in to the red because it's still wet, which I quite like. And then I thought, like this one for example, I thought, oh, that's a bit red there, so I did a little bit of orange at the top, and then that bled into the red, and you get some really cool effects. But again, it's my very first attempt. And let's turn it over again. And here, this page, I used a different red. So this one is this red here, and this one is the red here. That's your bright pink, and that's your darker red. That's the one I used. And here I kind of didn't use a circle, I used a random shape, and actually I feel that works a little bit better. I mean, that one didn't work so good. It looks like a strange angle, but you know what, that one, if I had a card blank, I'd be happy to trim that down like so, and that would look really nice on a card. Quite happy with that one. Here again, playing, I don't even know what I was doing. I made a bit of a mess there. Here again, practicing, seeing what happened when I lifted colour off. Didn't like it too much, but again, this is my practice book, so what to do and what not to do, kind of. So, but don't rip the pages out, just keep them to learn what you didn't like and what you did like. Here I mixed 2 colours. I mixed the pink and the red. Sort of like it, sort of don't, but again, I think if you put it onto a card, it would be quite cute. And then I got some black paint and I did a few splatters on there with the extra water. And then here, hang on, let me turn this one over. Got no nails. Here, I thought I'll experiment with other colours. So I was a little bit more delicate here. So I did my C, as you can see, literally, filled it all in randomly. Don't make your C's too fat though, try and give them quite a curve, which we will do. And then I put a little bit of black on the end, and it kind of wicked out like it's done here, little stem, and you're done. So again, that would make a really cute card topper. No, you know, this isn't hard to do, I promise you. Here I was just practicing. This is the cerise pink, just to see how long I can get my colour to last. More practicing here. And then this morning I did this. I don't even know why I did it. I just got some water, put it in that kind of C shape, a little bit of red around the edge, and it kind of filled out beautifully. And I thought, I'm going to pop a little stem there, so it's kind of hanging off the page, but hey, I don't care, I really like that. And then here, just seeing it when I put a circle of water, what happened and how far it would wick out, and that'd be quite nice. So if I could put a stem on there, that'd be kind of a cute poppy as well. I could put one down there, and that's that. So actually, that's where I've got to. So for me, that is my learning process. Now I'm going to leave this book like so. I'm going to leave it that way, and I'm going to get myself ready, and we are next going to look at how we do this wet on wet technique where the colour wicks out. Following that, we will start on a video which will be using the Poppy embossing folder, and we will colour that in with the paints, using them in a different way.